Why, hello, everybody. It's so nifty to see you all here. Welcome to a special edition of True Crime and Wine Time, located on the 13th Juror streaming channel. Teri, how are you?
I am fabulous now that I'm here with you.
Oh, stop. You've been with me for like 30 minutes.
I know, but I love to hang out with you. It makes my whole world better.
Oh, thank you. That's mutual, obviously. Especially when you come on into the stream and the pink is just wow.
It's there. It's all pink.
Look.
I say?
Dina says, you look amazing.
Aw, thank you. I'll pay you later, Dina. Just send me your Venmo. I'll pay you.
Well, everybody, there's great updates just on the side of everything is that finally a working microphone is here. So we don't have to worry about a short anymore. Teri, I didn't tell you this, but I bought an arm and a microphone. This microphone, not the same one, but off of eBay, which was a terrible idea. The arm got lost or stolen. That fellow was super nice. He was like, I'll refund you your money. You go ahead. Like, not a problem. So sorry that happened. And then the mic that came was not working at all. And I sent a message to them and was like, hey, this is not playing. It's not playing nice. And they're like, well, did you try doing some other? I was like, listen, I kind of know what I'm doing ish. And you're telling me to turn it off and on again. And so I sent that back for a refund. And now I finally went through Amazon, and I realized after going through Amazon that the box that I have from Amazon has more things in it than the box that I got from eBay. So despite them saying it's new, it's not.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I'm happy, and tomorrow I get the actual like boom arm, so it'll be less jerry rigging, which is nice. So
well, I'm excited because my birthday's coming up, and I'm hoping HH/ birthday gift will show up with me a new mic. I actually have mine on a stand today instead of my boom arm to keep it out of my face, because somebody sent me a message from when I did a guest thing, and they said it would have been nice if we could have seen your lips. I guess my microphone was covering my lips or something. So
it's a weird thing to pinpoint, really.
So I lowered it.
Oh, hey, Recovery Addict's in here. Recovery Addicts is a wonderful streamer. He's fantastic. Boy, he's the reason why I think Brandy and I are here. So super happy. No, Allie. Well, yes, it is technically. So I'm still JT, and this is still 13th Juror, but I have a podcast with Teri called True Crime and Wine Time, and we're doing a special here on this channel to see how things go. You all are our testers. You're our testers.
Are they guinea pigs?
Guinea pigs? I mean, you guys can be whatever you want.
I want to be a guinea pig.
RA said, that's strange. People asked me to put the mic in front of my face. That's not true.
As 6A, I doubt that,
but we do like your voice. It is a very lovely voice.
It is a good voice.
I do. I also want to give a when you spend so much time with moderators, you become a family. And so for me, when a family member is going through something, whether it be a difficulty, a crisis, a surgery, etc., I want to make sure that, we send good vibes, because this is a great channel. These are great people. I think last week proved that to me. And one of our mods, Dina Do 420, Dina is going to be going through a surgery. And that's where I'll leave it, because none of that is my story. But I say that to say this. We wish you the best. Yes. And we are sending good vibes, thoughts, and prayers if you deem it towards you. And we know you'll be out for a little while recovering, and we want you to do that.
Yes.
That's very important to all of us. And so I wanted to make sure that you knew that we're thinking about you and will be for the foreseeable future. So, yes. Um, okay. We have, so obviously we broke down, we broke down. I broke down. We broke.
He broke
we,
it.
I broke it. I broke everything. I broke all the things. We had folks send us stuff. We picked 3 to start out with tonight as a tester. And but before we go into that portion, we wanted to talk about at least 1 or 2 stories that have either been going on currently or I just realized was a thing. But I think you have the first one anyways. And boy howdy, this took a left in the fork in the road that I didn't know about. So I want if you can, well you can, but will you tell us this story, please?
Everything in Texas is bigger and takes a left turn.
Okay.
Just gonna start there. So yes, a young man who a lot of you probably have heard went missing 8 years ago, and he was found apparently beaten up outside of a church, and they said nonverbal. Everybody was very excited. He's back home, he's doing well. Well, guess what? Rudy Farias, I think that's how you say his last name, was never actually missing. He was never missing. His mom lied. Some people in the neighborhood knew, some people didn't. But she raised money to, to try to find him and use that money to go on vacation. But then now there's stories coming out that I won't get too graphic, but he was being abused by his mom, and she made him pretend to be daddy. And we'll just leave that there because that right there, I don't understand why she's not in handcuffs. And I hope the police maybe are just doing a little more investigating.
Yeah.
But she needs to go down for something.
It looks like a lot of our folks have been following this story. I can't. So basically what happened was, total 180. He was actually escaping and he got out and they put him right back in the situation.
Well, but there's also some stories saying that he would go hang out at a neighbor's house in the garage because she was mentally keeping him in a prison by telling him there's a warrant out for your arrest. If you tell anyone your name, they're going to arrest you. So she mentally, when he did go out, she basically just told him all of these crazy gaslighting stories.
And he's been quote unquote missing for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it started when he was how old?
15, 16.
15.
But I mean, how could it not be a false, you filed a false charge, you raised money that you spent on a vacation. Yes, I think aunties. Yeah. I think so too. I think they're going to do something, but I think there's a whole lot more that's going to come out of that Pandora box.
They said he is not a minor, and they couldn't stop him from leaving with his mother. A crazy story with a lot of missing pieces. Yeah. Yeah. This is what you and I were just mentioning before we went on. We cannot keep up at all.
Can't keep up. I mean, yeah. I worry that it sounds like he may have some mental challenge or some learning disabilities, and maybe she utilized that or made those issues worse. But I think there's a lot that we're going to find out maybe.
She would tell people that it was his cousin that people saw. Queen Swope said that there's a file on the Discord as the gravel drops. You guys can check that out. I probably will be there right after we're done streaming because I just didn't see it. Not there, but I hadn't seen this story or much about it. So, but now consider my interest piqued.
When I figure out this Discord thing, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
It's very it takes some time, Discord, but there's a good group of people that can help you out, including myself. So
okay, well, we'll have to take a sidebar with that because I'm a little challenged.
Allie said, Allie, thanks for the super chat. She said, I don't know you, Dina, but whatever you're about to go through, pray that it goes well and for a speedy recovery. Also, it's nice to meet you. Hugs. Oh, thank you so much. He's staying with the mother's friend who is not her friend anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
He told people that she fed him magic mushrooms.
Yeah. As I said, I think there's a whole lot more. And I'll say HPD is not always known for being on the right side of doing things. Not going to say all of them, but there are some that, don't always do the right thing. So I hope they do.
Yeah. There needs to be a very thorough something very
there needs to be.
Thorough.
They need to look into it because he was a minor when he went missing.
Right. Yeah, I hope that they need to keep that in mind, I think, over everything else, because sometimes I feel like a lot of people are like, well, he's he's an adult now, so
when he went missing.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. And it doesn't matter either way. You can't just, I'm tongue-tied is what I am. Tongue-tied, I tell you.
Now, and I will be honest, and maybe somebody in our group knows, I thought I read somewhere, and I'll be honest, I didn't have my glasses on, so I was reading on my phone, that his dad had committed suicide right before all of this went down. So would love to know if that's true. I have it on my list to kind of dig into this week.
Yeah, let me know about that. That's interesting. It'd be interesting. 17 is an adult in Texas. Is that true?
Depends on different things.
Because you're in Texas.
I'm in Texas. You can be an adult for some things and not an adult for other things. So it depends.
Come again? Let me guess. 17 to buy a gun.
I actually think you have to be 18 to buy a gun. No, you have to be 18.
Okay, well that's nice.
And cigarettes.
So what about 17 is, you know what?
You can get a married when you're 17.
Card.
You can get married when you're 17. You can sign for yourself to get married. So you can somewhat be emancipated at 17, because a lot of people graduate high school when they're 17. You can sign up for the military if you're out of high school.
Oh. So his dad did unalive himself, was a police officer. His brother also passed away as well. Oh, good grief. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing somebody say no sound, but I don't know if that's true. Hold on.
Oh.
Make sure that everybody has
Have
it
you
here.
muted me?
I'm not in my... No, I did not. No, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything in our Discord. I just didn't have it open. Everybody hears. Okay, cool. Wonderful.
Okay, great.
Wonderful. Okay, all right. Shareen, it's okay. Well, I'd say it's okay, but you can't hear me say it's okay. It's okay.
Someone asked where I am, so I'll just give y'all the background. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Went to North Shore High School. Spent many years in Dallas after that, but now I am in the Austin area. So
I think if I had to visit Texas, it'd be Austin.
I've lived
It seems like it's
Houston,
more
Dallas, and
my.
Austin. Austin is the place to be. It's a lot of work to be in
Yeah.
Dallas.
So you know
Very
me.
pretentious.
You know me. Is
Austin's where
Austin
you
my
need to
place?
visit.
Are those my people?
Austin is your place.
Okay.
We're your people.
Okay. I spent
We're
2
your
years living in
people.
Corpus Christi, and that was interesting. I was a child. I was like a baby, so I don't remember. So
I spent a lot of time there because
Queens.
my dad worked in the oil business, and we used to go to Padre Island a lot in
Mhm.
Corpus Christi.
Padre. You were probably well. Yeah, I don't know. Virginia says Austin's where our crazies live. Perfect. That's perfect for me. That's where I am.
We're just keeping it weird.
Well, yeah, that's important.
I just saw a neon
right,
sign like the ones you have in the back that say "Keep Austin Pink."
Ooh, you need one of
and
those.
I'm like, I need that. So
You
I need to find out
that.
where they got it.
Texas is also one of those places where you could tell people where you live, but the city is usually so large, you're still fine. I've heard that like places like Dallas take like 4 hours to get to the other side.
It takes a long time to get across this state.
That's why I'm glad I crossed it going Route 40.
It's all different too. The personalities of Houston compared to Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin, they're all different vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. Austin sounds like mine. I just ran into this story. Isn't Austin Music City? Is Austin Music City?
It is considered Music City. There is, well, Austin was here before Nashville. Somebody just said Nashville. So Nash Vegas kind of took over, but Austin was considered the original Music City.
That's a hot take. Is that a hot take? I mean, it's a true take probably, but it might be a hot take. We're gonna have some people just like throwing their laptops.
I mean, I kind of love Nash Vegas. So
I still haven't been. I haven't been to those two. I've been to a lot of places in this world, but not that. Not there. So this second story, before we hop into our actual stories from folks, or perfect plans rather, an 86-year-old. I think when I turn 86, I'm going to hope that I don't know, doing shuffleboard or, playing Sonic, going, in my day, you didn't actually hop into the game. This fellow went a different route. So an 86-year-old man was with his 79-year-old wife on the 4th of July. And he allegedly fatally shot her. He told officers he, quote, didn't want to do it. However, he reportedly told officers, I'm really depressed. I didn't want to do it, but it got to a point. If you ever saw her room, you would know why I got that depressed. So he killed his wife because her room made him depressed. Now, that's not a joke on depression. I have it. It's real. Here's the thing about a room. You can close a door.
And they have separate rooms, I'm guessing, because he's calling it her room.
Right.
I mean, that would be like my pink office. HH doesn't like getting shut the door.
Right. Well, it's like I told you before our stream today, is that there's no way Double H would ever be depressed by your room. It is bright and pink and glittery and happy. Virginia asked where this happened. Henderson, Nevada is where this happened.
Wow.
And it's just me says, if you ever saw my son's room.
Okay. Seeing my son's rooms growing up, it wasn't depressed that I was. It made me insane and furious.
Oh no.
And it smelled really bad. Oh.
They love it. So the other thing is that they took him into custody. They charged him with open murder with a deadly weapon. What is closed murder? Open murder with a deadly weapon. Okay, he remains held without bail. I would hope so. But this is not the first time he's done something aggressive like this. In 2018, he allegedly aimed a gun at another individual and was arrested. He pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault, and he paid a fine of $1,000. So it's not the first time. Not the first time.
Well,
that he's had
and
this.
being
He's
in Las Vegas in his age, he's going to get off again. And Henderson's a nice area. And I lived in Henderson. And for those that don't know, HH is my husband. He's not my
Yes.
imaginary friend.
This fella is fascinating. He just looks grumpy. He looks very angry.
He does. He might be suffering from some issues.
A lot. Some other things going on. Okay, somebody told me to Google open. What did I say it was?
What, open murder?
Open murder. Charge meaning. Popped up Nevada, so it must be. Let's see. An open murder. Information or indictment charges murder in the first degree and all necessary included offenses. Those would include murder in the second degree. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't really. Open murder just looks like it's charges of murder in the first degree with all other offenses.
So do they have closed murder?
I don't really see. See, you go to the actual Nevada page and it's very confusing. I'll have to and then I just get a bunch of listings for lawyers. So
Las Vegas is its own country.
Oh gosh. All right. So Teri, do you want to tell everybody kind of what we're planning on doing tonight?
Would love to. So I had this great idea and I took it to JT, and JT was like, yeah, sounds great. So we've been putting out on socials, asking people on the podcast. JT's gotten the word out too, asking people to send in their plans for a perfect crime. And we've gotten a lot of them. And I didn't want to read them first and my brain start trying to do things. So we are cold reading these.
We are cold reading them, so this is going to be fun. And on top of that, it would be great if we could make this like interactive in terms of mediated text and communication. So you all are more than happy, or more than happy.
Yes.
Hopefully you're more than happy. You're more than welcome to put in the chat some of the things that you're thinking in terms of these plans. Also, what you would do differently. Now, we have checked with law enforcement. You are not in trouble. Just don't throw a whole bunch of the M word in the chat and we'll be okay.
Yes, we are not telling people how to commit the perfect thing. What we're asking is people who've sent in what they think their perfect plan is. We're going to play armchair detectives, basically. And we're going to say, no, you can't do that. Grissom on CSI taught us that 20 years ago. We're going to do that kind of thing. So we're not going to say, no, if you want to get away with it, you need to do this. We're just going to tell you why your plan's not going to work.
Right. That's our goal. Now, if we cannot find a way that your plan's not going to work, well, good job.
And I'm going to just say, disclaimer right up front. We are not suggesting anyone go out and try this, kind of like the TV show Ridiculousness.
Ugh.
Please do not go out and attempt any of these plans.
Yeah, I'm not Rob Dyrdek, thank God.
Yes.
And this is not ridiculousness. No, Jade, stab with an icicle is really funny. Not literally, but it is. Yeah. And then let's see.
That's a great idea, because then your weapon would melt.
It would melt. You ran these stories. No, we didn't learn the stories by law enforcement. Good grief. Although it'd be cool to have a law enforcement person on the show for this kind of thing at least once. But we ran the idea,
Yes.
the premise of this by somebody.
Yes.
So, yes.
By an attorney and police officers. And I have, if this goes well and we decide to make this a thing and we
Mhm.
start a channel and we start doing it, got former detective, former FBI, got some law enforcement people who are going to come on and do some of these cold reads with us and give us their takes if
Yes.
this goes well.
Yes. I look forward to that. So let me go ahead and just start us off with the plan one sting, which is very quick, and it's not the music artist. So sorry, everybody. Ah, plan one. The perfect murder.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to let you read it, and then we'll go through it.
Okay. Now, it's looks like it's a little short paragraph. So one thing I think we can also do is I think it'd be great if we also expand on it if we want to.
I agree.
So murder. Target must be random.
Okay.
I'm assuming this means the person committing the crime needs to wear a hat, gloves, pants, long sleeves, and generic shoes. Leave your phone at home. Leave movie/YouTube going for alibi. Do not drive your own car because of GPS data. Bring
Okay.
backpack filled with full change of clothes and shoes. Do not keep weapon. Toss preferably in a large body of water or in the trash if they are collecting the same day. Do not tell anyone, and they put that in all caps. Can't stress that enough, not even your BFF.
No.
Now, if you really want to throw them off, leave a few hairs of someone you hate at the crime scene. Let the cops chase that person.
That's nefarious. Whoa. That's broken. That's so mean. Is there more? Tell me there's more. Is there more?
That's nope, that's all for the first
That's
one.
okay. So maybe what we need to do is break this into bullet points
Yes.
and take this step
So we're
by
going to find a
step.
random person. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I'm not sure why we're killing a random person who's done nothing to us.
Right.
It could be a very nice person, but hey. And you're going to wear hat, gloves,
Uh-huh.
pants,
Uh-huh.
long sleeves, and generic shoes.
So you are going. So basically, you're killing somebody dressed like Michael Jackson.
Well, or you could,
I
but you
mean,
don't necessarily because you could dress, I mean, with a hat, it could be a cowboy hat. I live in Texas.
yeah, get one of those 10. That's not auspicious. The 10-gallon, just
Yeah.
the big one.
I mean, because depending on what
And-
part of Texas you're doing, if you're doing the murder in Texas, you could get away with that.
Right. Right. I mean, what you should do is just get a super large hat, pull it over your head, cut 2 holes out of the actual center of it for your eyes. Put a bandana, put a high ho silver, what is it? The Lone Ranger. I don't know why you would put that around the hat, but this is my guess. And pop some mime gloves on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody said, first off, Kathy said you should at least know the person manners. Good grief. The shoes shouldn't be your normal size.
That was something I was going to say. So, shoes, and it says generic. So, I'm a female. Should I wear a larger size that a man would possibly wear?
Yeah, Sandra said if you're
Someone just
female,
said
wear
that.
men's shoes. Yep, absolutely. I will wear heels, stilettos. As long as I don't have to run, I should be okay. Allie said less clothes, the less stuff for DNA to be found on. So
Now, one thing about this, nowhere did they say what the weapon was. Just to
That's
throw it
true.
in a body of water. So, my brain is like going so many different ways. Maybe you don't
Yeah.
have a weapon. Maybe the weapons are your
Ooh,
hands.
I'm dressed as Mushmouth. The cosplay. Dressed like a clown.
Oh, what's the clown from The Simpsons?
Oh,
Krusty.
Krusty
Krusty the
Krusty the
clown.
clown. Hey, kids.
Now, I will say, I was listening to my favorite person to sleep with besides HH, and that would be Keith Morrison, every night. And he was just covering a case where somebody left their phone at home and bought a movie from Amazon Prime and then pressed play and left it playing. What happened on this case, though, they didn't get back in time. They didn't pick something that was long enough. So the movie ended
Oh,
back alibi because they didn't have anything to follow it up with. And I will say the other thing I thought when I was listening to that was, why didn't you tell him he fell asleep? Because I always fall asleep in the movies at home.
well, what they should have done was they should have bought Titanic, because that movie goes on forever. Like,
That's true.
I've had to sit down because, Netflix is, boy, their marketing department sure picked an interesting time to put Titanic on, Ocean Gate, and they yeah, it's just I've had to sit down like 3 or 4 times just to get halfway through it. But yeah, people are saying Apocalypse Now, Avatar, Gone with the Wind.
But I mean, it has to be something that you've watched enough to know it. Can't I haven't
Yeah,
seen Titanic in years, so Lord help us if I was to say Titanic, I would get it all confused.
just tell them that there's a whistle and the soundtrack's the same all the way through, and there's something with a big diamond. It's shiny.
Yeah.
I
I
think
will
that's it.
say, I'm thinking throwing a weapon in the trash, even if they are picking up trash that day, law enforcement has been known to go to the waste place and dig through the trash. And they keep track of what trucks pick up which locations, what time, and what day. And then when they take it back to the facility, they can say, oh, that street picked up on Thursday, it's going to be over in that area. So I think if you're going to do
Yeah,
that,
trash is no good.
trash is probably not a great idea.
The difficulty, and a lot of people are bringing up the car, and we are going to get to the idea of what to do car wise, but the difficulty with I think the suggestion was to throw the weapon into a large body of water, right? Is
Or
that
in
what
the
that was?
trash.
Okay. Or in the trash. So we're gonna say no, don't to the trash. That's probably not gonna work out well for you. Um, they do dumpster dive, but to throw it out into a large body of water would really require you to get out into that body of water.
That was gonna be you can't just
Right?
throw it from the shore or a
No,
bridge or a
not
thing,
at
right?
all. And you really would need to either have a boat, rent a boat, buy a boat, but then there's a bunch of like video of you on the docks now because they have videos everywhere. We saw this; it didn't work for Dexter, so
Oh,
that's
I
kind
just
of
had an idea. What
uh-oh.
about a drone? Couldn't you put the gun on the drone and have the drone fly out in the middle of the water and drop it?
Is that what Amazon's been trying to do this whole time?
But I just thought of that. Couldn't you do that?
So that checks out. Oh yeah. Teresa, yes, we are explaining how to pull off. We're going with folks' stories that submitted them, and that's what we're going off of. You got to be in the middle of the ocean, like either in the middle of the ocean or in a very fast moving body of water. I think that would carry it, but it would have to be. It couldn't be like a heavy thing, right?
Yeah.
And yes, Adam, you're right. RA would indeed find it, Mr. Metal Detector himself. So,
Yeah.
we'd
And
be in
now
trouble.
they have drones that go in the water and can search for stuff. So they have underwater drones. So I'm still not sure throwing it into the body of water, unless it's a weapon that you can break up into multiple pieces and put it in multiple bodies of water.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then the other thing I'm thinking about drone wise is a lot of drones now have GPS. So that
Oh,
would cause
do
a
they?
problem too. Yeah, yeah. A lot of drones, you actually can track them on maps where you've flown them and stuff. That's how a lot of them have like automatic return buttons. So you hit the button and it'll return right back to where it took off. And so that's a lot of GPS stuff involved too. So
Yeah.
just get,
So
just get yourself a drone off a Wish, and maybe, maybe you'll be okay, you know?
I think we go back to that ice pick
And that's,
or an
that's what Tina
ice.
said.
Yeah.
Right back to that ice pick.
Because then it would
Okay.
just melt.
So we've talked outfit. We've talked where to throw the weapon in the body of water,
An alibi.
and not a dumpster. Ooh, an alibi.
Right.
Right, the
Because you're
alibi we
supposed to
talked
leave
about.
on YouTube and then bring a backpack filled with fully change of clothes. What's interesting, they didn't say what to do with the clothes that have the blood on them.
Oh
There's
boy.
not a disposal of the blood, only of the weapon.
Yeah,
So you're going
that's.
to change clothes. What are you going to do with those bloody clothes?
I mean, I guess if you're going to take the weapon out into a body of water, and I've said this already, you pull a Dexter, you put those clothes in a trash bag, put a bunch of heavy stuff in the trash bag, and send it down. But I mean, yeah, everybody's saying burn them.
S6A. I'm thinking burn them too, but just person who sent this in didn't think of that.
No.
And I'll be honest, even if you're going to throw the weapon in water, you should probably clean it first. So
Yeah,
just
and
an extra layer of get rid of stuff.
Adam said Goodwill. Oh no,
Oh no, don't do that.
they won't take them. They won't take baby stuff. They're definitely not going to take those.
Yeah, they won't take it with blood on it.
The other thing is people are very, very, I think law enforcement's very focused on this entire idea of like burning. Like, was it a fire pit? Was it a burn barrel? Was it especially after making a murderer? Right. And so you better do a really good job.
And they also said to not drive your own car. So can't rent a car because then your name's attached to the rental car. Because I just listened to Keith Morrison again. Just so y'all know, I sleep with him every night, and that's how I sleep. But somebody rented a car to go kill somebody and then took it back, and they tracked the mileage. The mileage was from the rental place to the person's house they killed and back to the rental place. That was the exact mileage. So
What? Well, gas is expensive, right?
It is.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't want to rent it. Don't want to steal it. I wouldn't borrow a friend's car. Ooh, I like to ride a bike. Ooh, not at my age. Depends on how far I had to go.
When you say steal a car, all I can think of is like the commercial, you wouldn't steal a car. Don't steal the movies. Like that's the commercial I remember. Don't pirate the movies. Ride a horse.
You could take an Uber, I guess, and have it drop you off a couple of blocks away. Because remember, this person's a random person. They don't know this person. So there will be no connection.
It's very true.
Because it's random.
That's very true.
I could just tell Uber, but Uber will still know what house you got dropped at. So you would still want to be dropped at a different house. Drive a fence.
Sorry.
Ride a horse. Save a cowboy.
Queen said ride a horse, and then Adam said save a cowboy.
Ride a horse. I like
yes, pogo stick. I think so. I think we go with pogo stick. So you better get real good at it. Uber abstract. So I don't know. Kathy, we're choosing to unalive a stranger because links work. It's easier to find somebody if it's the links. Ricky said he'd ride his horse.
Oh, a 6A, but got to remember, this is their plan. So their plan was to pick a random person.
Yep. Also, Ricky's profile image is of him on a horse. So I believe I knew Ricky had horses, but I believe you would ride a horse. That's for sure. But I still say borrow the ex's vehicle.
Okay, I kind of like that one. Oh, and your ex's hair.
Oh, there it
So
is.
leave your ex's hair, borrow your ex's vehicle, and your clothes. Dress up in what your ex would have worn.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
All right. So show of hands. How many people just went? um, oh man.
Yes.
Kathy's really on this whole unalive a stranger thing. It's just so rude.
I agree. I'm just reading the person's plan.
I guess you could shake their hand and introduce yourself with one and have the ice pick behind your back with the other. Or the icicle. Sorry, the icicle, not the ice pick. But yes. Anyways, what was the next part of this? There was a little bit more to it, I know. Wasn't there?
Don't tell anyone, not even your BFF. And then said, if you want to throw off the cops, leave a few hairs.
Okay. So we figure out the hairs thing. The not telling anyone, that's where people get, that's where, yeah.
I'm going to just be honest. I can't keep my mouth shut.
Then I'm safe with you. You'd be number one suspect if it's your ex. We're not doing this to the ex. We're using the ex's stuff is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
and if you're like me and you have multiple exes. Hey, now we had this thing called Snowmageddon last year, and I actually had 6 inches of snow, and I had icicles hanging off my house.
You'd have to be very patient in Texas.
Yeah, you'd have to be very patient.
Don't podcast it to the world.
That is true. Now, can you make, you know how they have those trays that you make ice cubes out of? Could you get one that's in the shape of a knife and then make your own ice knife?
You took that one step further than I thought you were going to. I thought you were just going to say, can you make icicles in your freezer? No. You went full on. Could you? Sure. I mean, 3D printers are big now, right? My father-in-law made there was a plastic toy that was a net. So it was very kind of detailed plastic toy that my 1-year-old dog Elton decided he wanted to destroy. And he 3D printed a new one that was even stronger and better than the first one. So, and people are 3D printing a lot of things. I'm not going to say what they're 3D printing, but they're 3D printing a lot of things. So, yeah. Well, now we're making shanks. Listen, this conversation is going to go left, right, all kinds of ways. I guess if I mean, listen, you take care of what you got to take care of, and then you can kind of chip off the normal ice that's still good and just drop it in a drink for later.
And the one thing I have to say about the hair, it needs to be hair with the roots, doesn't it? Because just a couple of strands of hair is not going to get you anywhere. I mean, it might confuse them for a little bit, but don't you need the roots?
Jesse's going to check on Etsy.
Okay, if you find one on Etsy, could you put the link? No, I'm kidding.
You'd have to make it yourself, because if there's record of you buying it, then there's trouble there too, right?
Yeah.
And then Allie said, guys, back to transportation. Can you hop on a freight train and jump off where convenient? Probably not the easiest route, but an idea.
You could if there's freight trains in the area. I don't personally live by any freight trains besides my life.
Pat just said, human hair wig. Those are not human hair. That's not human hair over here. This is just regular cheap wig is what this is.
And when they say it's Remy hair, that's really not real human hair, people. There's nobody just sitting there growing their hair really long for you.
Did they just blow on their thumb real hard?
I guess.
Pops out. And then they cut it. Okay, so Elizabeth said, "What time of day would or should you attempt this?"
They didn't say a time or day or anything. So I'm guessing anytime.
Hmm.
It doesn't say how they kill the person, where they kill the person. Doesn't give any of that.
And it's really funny because the normal things you would think about have all been disproven in Breaking
Right.
Bad. So I'm out.
Yeah,
Out of
I'm gonna be
ideas.
honest, I don't think there's a perfect time of day or evening.
Let's see. There was one. I love this. Shireen's right. Hairbrush has roots and follicles. My favorite part is I read all of Shireen's stuff in a British accent, because if we're fitting someone up, I just love that. Love that phrase. Let's see what else we got. We are all going to jail. We're all going to jail. No.
No, we're not.
Daytime if you want to get rid of it. Want to get away with it. Ricky's gonna go feed his ride. We'll see you. We'll see you next time, Ricky. We'll see you next time. Next time.
Hey, we could always borrow Ricky's horse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he probably. I don't think he would let. I don't think he'd be okay with. Well, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I don't have much money to pay, so. All right. That was it, right? That's it for the first one.
Yep, that was it for the first one.
All right. Well, let's move on into number 2. Nobody saw that, but I definitely spilled my water all over my pants.
Sure you did. You were laughing so hard you twiddled.
Oh no! Who knows? Nobody will ever know the truth.
So
we're enjoying this. We're enjoying this as well. We're glad you are too.
yes.
All right, number 2.
This next one is even shorter than the last one.
Oh boy!
But I'm just gonna say it's dark.
Well, we did just listen to like 35 to 40 minutes of Jodi Arias' phone call on Friday. It's not as dark as that.
No, well, we're not just killing one random person. We're going to kill a lot of random people that we don't know.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So we are going to research what movies are coming out, pick the longest runtime.
No. They're not talking to theater, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But they're going to go in ahead of time, tape off and close all outside ventilation. Pump the room full of carbon monoxide. Everyone will just go to sleep. And most won't realize anything is going on. And if anyone is alive, they'll be very sick.
Okay, so let me. That's that's dark.
Dark. That one's kind of dark.
Thanks, Allie. Yeah, it's dark. So. You know what it reminds me of? Actually, I just saw. Is it an episode of Criminal Minds? I don't remember that one actually. They
lit a theater on fire on Criminal Minds.
That's what. Okay, so I'm thinking of there's a new show. Well, it's newer, anyways, to me, called Inside Man on Netflix, and it has David Tennant in it, and what's his name? I have the internet at my disposal. Stanley Tucci. That's his name. Stanley Tucci's in it. It's a really good show, but this is kind of where that's the route he decides. I don't want to ruin it. But anyways, that idea happens. That just sounds like a really rough. Megan, you know what? You just said exactly what you'd be caught on camera for sure.
That's what I was thinking. And First of all, pump the room full of carbon monoxide. It says go in before. Then all of the carbon monoxide, when you open the doors and people were coming in, it would let out. So it wouldn't work. It wouldn't stay in there, thank God.
No.
Um,
and the double doors are usually always open to a theater or even a single door, especially in the beginning. This would not. I don't think this one's going to play out the way that it was intended.
I'm going to say right off the bat, this one is one that the police are going to be like, really? You really tried that? Really?
This would be found on a Florida Man website, is what
it could be.
No offense to Floridians here. Obviously, you're here, so you wouldn't be doing that. But it does sound like that kind of a story. Yeah. You need some kind of motor. Yeah, you would, and it'd be loud too. And it'd just have to be a long running one. That is a big space. That is a large space. A large space.
Now, could you put, it's just being me, could you put carbon monoxide inside of a balloon and then the balloon release it?
I don't think that's enough. That's definitely not enough. It'd have to be a big old balloon. Yeah. What I think, here's what I think we should do, and maybe we should pause at this because I think this one hits an interesting chord for a lot of folks. But what you should do is not carbon monoxide. What you should do is pump helium in, and then as people are watching, all of a sudden they're just like,
and then they're laughing.
Just a massive laughing balloon. It'll be fun. I think I saw Brandy Churchwell. Hi, Brandy.
Oh, hey, Brandy.
Brandy's back from her week-long cruise.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Somebody, let me see if this pops up faster. Yeah, Teresa said laughing gas. Yes. And that really reminds me of I Am Your Dentist from Little Shop of Horrors with the laughing gas and such. Do the balloons when they replay it in theaters.
Okay. That just is really dark.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair, Shareen. I don't want to take away the oxygen. I just want to not replace. I just want to add helium to it. Yeah. You know, I think, I guess in some respect, you're pushing oxygen out by introducing another gas in too. So I guess I am. I don't want to cause hypoxia. I just want to cause a bunch of chuckles. So
yeah. I think that one's a little dark. I think maybe cold reading. I think I may have to run these through HH or something.
That's a good idea. I think that we're learning. We're learning as we go.
I may not sleep.
Well, let's move on to plan 3, shall we?
Yes.
All right. So if you didn't see that, this was submitted by our very own Shareen.
Is it our Shareen?
I think so. I don't know another Shareen in my entire life.
Well, but this is just from people on the internet.
Yeah.
On
we did debunk that. That's very true.
Yeah, we just said that one was dark. Okay. So this one is a little bit, it was her. Almost like you should read it.
She say, "Yep, it was me. It was me." Ha. All right.
This one's kind of like a story, and I'm gonna have to. I may have to blow this one up a little bit bigger.
That stands to reason too, because Shareen's helping me write the sidebars. So, yay, story.
Okay.
It's a story time.
Sit back at a story time, my little lovies. It is 3 a.m. and I'm roaming the streets of a town I am unfamiliar with. The nightclub nearby has just shut the doors and many are on their way home. Some in groups, some in taxis, some alone. I'm not near the club as many CCTV are capturing the town. No, I'm on the outskirts and people are heading my way. I came in a taxi. I gave a fake name and I paid in cash. I have a backpack with my weapon and a change of clothes. I see someone. I attack, and in the shadows between buildings, I quickly change my clothes, wash off the blood with the wet flannel I have kept in my bag. I head to the nearest taxi place and head home, not giving my exact address, but a few streets away. Once I shower and place everything in the bag and burn them in a container I have in my garden, I comb through the fire with a rake and gather anything not incinerated. Tomorrow, I will go to the nearest woods and bury deep the weapon and the debris deep in the woods.
I'm writing notes. I'm writing notes because I'm gonna have a hard time debunking this. I think this one's got some stuff going on.
Okay, so once again, we killed a random person. I'm
We
going to
did.
just say, guys, what did they do to you? Why are these innocent people?
Do you know what's crazy too? Shareen's watched way too many crimes. We all have watched way too many crimes, y'all.
Oh.
Like that's just kind of what happens. Shareen, for those of you who are worried, Shareen is not. For those of you who are in the states, not in the states. I'll leave it at that. But also lives very close to the woods. And there's a lot here that is. I mean, it makes sense. You pull from what you know. These stories, right? Any stories or plans. First off, the idea of hitting an unfamiliar location is really smart. One that you're not normally, well,
Well, my first thing, and maybe it's different because this is the States, at 3 a.m., the bars are closed where I live. They close at 2 o'clock. Last call's at 1:45. So 3 a.m., everybody be gone.
I mean, yeah, I guess we have to go with the closing time of where Shareen is, and if it's 3, well, first off, I got to move there, but second off, you know, isn't 3 a.m. the witching hour? Isn't that 3? It's 3, isn't it?
It's 3, I think.
It's 3. So, what I think is really interesting is obviously not being in this city because CCTV with what Shareen was mentioning is literally everywhere where she's at. Being on the outskirts though would be helpful. Having people leave in droves, but then trickle kind of off, and then you've got the people who are fewer and fewer people coming towards the outskirts of town. Having them come to you versus you going there is probably is very helpful too.
And if they've been in a bar drinking, they're not as cautious and they've let their guard down. And so probably walking by themselves or bye, see you next time. They go this way, you go that way kind of thing. So, and they could walk right into your little trap.
Shareen said many people die at 3 or 4 a.m. She is indeed in the healthcare field.
Okay.
So that checks. See, she's pulling from a lot of different things. I'm interested into what okay, so that's kind of like location, that's kind of like the timing.
Now, the one thing I wonder, don't taxis, you gave a fake name and you paid in cash, but where did you get the taxi? Because don't they record where they pick up and drop off?
The GPS.
So I know she says that you have them drop you off a couple of blocks, a few streets away, but did you go to a hotel and get into a taxi? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know that the taxis here typically will have a camera in them. Actually, on top of everything else, a lot of times they will now.
Because they have cameras inside the taxis, right? So you're on film.
Usually, but even if all they did was record their location, and I'm so sorry everybody that I'm touching my face a lot. I apparently at some point on Thursday, after trying to clear some brush and debris, picked up some like poison ivy or something. Um,
What?
yeah, that's fun. And I didn't know it until today. So it's here and it's here and it's
I can make you feel
here.
better.
Oh God. Yes.
One time when I was, let's just say right out of high school,
Uh-huh.
and I decided to pop a squat behind a tree in the woods,
Oh
right
no.
on top of that poison ivy.
Oh
That is not where you want
no.
poison ivy. Just gonna tell you, not where you want it.
Yeah, no, that does make me feel a little bit better, a little bit. Tommy, Tommy says, yeah, they have a great story for TCWT to play with.
Send them to us.
Send it, truecrimewinetime@gmail.com. Okay, so
Now,
back to this.
yeah. So the other thing I thought about this one, so you're not near the club as many have, TVs.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the other buildings next to the club? So, like here, I'm thinking 6th Street in Austin. Even the dry cleaner out front, the ATMs have cameras. It's
Yep.
so even if you're on the outskirts, everybody has cameras nowadays. Now, granted, they're not always working, but
Mm-hmm. Shareen said, not in the UK. A lot of times they don't have fancy taxis, and you can get them right off the street, so you don't really have to call them to come somewhere. So that does help. That does
that
help.
helps.
And if you're paying with cash, I would imagine that you don't have to tell them your name, really. But I guess also, like, if in any way, shape, or form they could or determine which taxi it was and could pool the GPS, they could figure out what time frame it was, and that person could see if they could remember what you looked like. That's a stretch, though. That's a lot of they could, they might. So
Well, but
chances
how
are
many
they could.
people are taking a taxi at closing time instead of earlier in the night? Probably not a lot of people showing up at closing time.
That's true. That's very true. Got to be into. I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a master of disguise.
I'm gonna dress up as
Um,
Barney.
I love you. You love
You love
me.
me. We're
This is a perfect murder mystery.
So then okay, I attack and in the shadows between buildings.
Okay.
So I'm
How do you get?
guessing during the attack. Now, I will say they never say they kill the person. They just said Shareen just says they attack. Now that I remember who wrote this one. So the attack and in the shadows between buildings. So I'm thinking like a downtown area where you have lots of buildings and there's little alleys, driveways between them. You're going to go there.
So here is my question to you
Yes.
in terms of this part of the plan. So people who are leaving late at night, we
Mhm.
said 3, they're more often than not, even if you're inebriated coming out of a club, you're more often than not going to avoid the dark alleyways, right? So how do you get
Well,
somebody into a dark alleyway unless they really got to pee?
well, I am ashamed to admit this. When I was traveling and commuting to Chicago for work, that I lived down by the Miracle Mile. When I would go to dinner with people, I knew there was a shortcut behind the back of 2 buildings
Terry.
because that's where they did deliveries. And if I went that way, I would save myself 10 minutes because I could cut and go through.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have been an easy target. Yeah.
Oh no. I avoid anything dark. Like there has to be
Well, now I
lights
do,
where I'm
but
going. Well, yeah. Alcohol means wee wee.
it does.
Yeah, I guess but I'm wherever I'm going. If I'm walking, it's gonna be close, and I'm gonna run at that
And you're
point.
going to stay in the lights.
Patches is saying somebody who's homeless or not. I guess if you're looking for random, that is one way to go about it.
Or no offense to the guys. they always have to stop and go behind the building to pee. So your target's probably going to be a man, and their hands are going to be occupied, hopefully.
It's true. It's true. So, all right. So we've talked about CCTV, taxis, alleyway. What's the next part? I guess the
Then
weapon
you're
was in
going
the
to
backpack.
change your clothes, and you're going to wash off the blood with a wet flannel that you've got in the bag.
Okay, so we've put a wet flannel in the bag, ideally a bag within a bag so that it doesn't leak and it's not wet or something like
Right?
that. Um, I'm still wondering what weapon we're choosing. Now, considering we now know this is in the UK, we're assuming it might be a knife.
I'm assuming a knife since they have very strict gun laws.
Yes. So, okay.
And then you're putting your clothes back in that bag to take with you. So you're changing next to the body on the ground, I'm presuming, between the building. Hope you're
Yeah.
not wearing white underwear because that'll be very bright. And then you've got to go find a taxi and head home.
I'm assuming you go the opposite way out the alley.
I would think so.
Better make sure it's not a Spider-Man situation where you got a wall and you have to climb it. I'm just saying.
But are there taxis just driving around at that time of night? That time of the morning?
They might be. I mean, there are. That's the other thing, right? Is that very few people are wanting to go somewhere. I mean, I guess if the
Yeah.
clubs are letting out, it gets busy. But you're
I guess
you'd have to head to a club to pick up a taxi to make it look like you're leaving the club.
yeah. So hopefully
Ugh.
brought club looking clothes. And she doesn't say what you do with the body. I guess you just leave it there.
Yeah, I think she said leave it.
No. It says with the wet flannel I have in a bag, head to the nearest taxi place and head home.
Well, I mean, then you do nothing.
And
Then you
then
head
once
home.
home, shower, place
Okay.
everything in the bag and burn them in a container in the garden.
Yes.
And then you comb
If
through the
you
fire.
shower,
Yeah.
if you shower, make sure you run that shower for a while because I've seen stories or true crime cases where police, if they find find you, they can pull things out of the drain.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Your blood sticks in there. I mean, because if you have their hair on you or something, they didn't stick to the clothes. Yeah. I do like that you burn and then you go through because a lot of people, even me, when I try to burn my credit card bills so HH doesn't see them, I don't always get all the evidence out of the fireplace. So I like that you dig through it and make sure you get it all.
That does yeah. Yeah, I mean, not only burning, but then following up. The follow-up's the important part, right? The follow-up's the important part. So you'll just sorry, hold on, wait a second. There's a couple people. Water hose outside. Go to a self-car wash.
Okay, that is a really good idea.
But then you have to ask. First off, you have to ask somebody to wash it down because you can't use those hoses, those high-pressure hoses, on yourself. Ouch.
What about the ones that have the little spinny things? Can't you just walk through that?
Wouldn't they have a camera inside of them?
I don't know.
Also, what happens when you get to the hot? Well, I guess you get a wax. You get a wax and a
Then you
wax.
get a wax.
I mean,
I'll be all
you know.
sparkly.
Bring on the Brazilian. That's right. I said it. I said
Well,
what y'all were thinking.
If you go to like here, I'm sure they have them everywhere. They have truck stops where you can pay to rent a shower for the truck drivers. They go and they pay to take a shower.
Mhm.
Couldn't you just go in there and take a shower?
You definitely could.
I mean,
You
you might
definitely
get
could.
some. I mean, I'm just thinking of a lot of dirty people in that shower, but you could go there because then they couldn't prove it was you because a lot of other people took a shower.
What would be really interesting is if you held on to those clothes and you went to a stop like that to take a shower and then you well, see, then you got cameras.
But you just maybe your shower's not working at home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how often are the cops going to stop and say, "Oh, let's go to the truck stop to see if somebody took a shower there"? I mean, that wouldn't be my first thought. Maybe we
Yeah.
could write a script with all of these and send it into Criminal Minds. Get Penelope on the case.
Jump in a creek. Literally. Go jump in a creek.
Well,
Lindsay
I'm
might
thinking
get...
if you're downtown, I don't know. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's probably not a truck stop in a downtown area where a club is.
That'd be quite the unique truck stop, I think. Yeah, Lindsay, I'm guessing that you're from the Midwest because you said creek. And if you say crick, I might
It's a
really know where
crick.
you're at. But yes, would it be so? I think what we're talking about is using that flannel to kind of clean things
Yeah.
and weapon, and then go to the next thing. Teresa says, "Be a truck driver first off." Yeah,
I mean, but if you wanted to take care of your skin, I would get some baby wipes that have aloe because you might have to rub real hard. And you know those
yeah,
for sure will burn.
yeah.
Now the only thing that worries me, I wouldn't bury the weapon.
Yeah, you can get home using underground tunnels and get the whole CNAs.
You might get a lot more than DNA on you.
Hello, pulpit. I don't know if I want to be there in those sewers, but I guess at a certain point you kind of just have to deal. Lindsay said Middle Tennessee, so I don't think that wouldn't be the Midwest, is it?
No, that's the
Mideast, Midwest.
South.
Well,
Well,
yeah. Well, it depends on, I guess, who you are. Um,
what was that?
There's business opportunities to serve unalivers.
There is, but
Uh,
I'm going to just say burying a weapon
mm-hmm.
is your fingerprints on it, your DNA, their DNA. What if they go to build? I used to live in a neighborhood outside of Houston, Crosby, where when they started digging to build the houses there in Newport, they dug up
They didn't.
bodies. They did. It
Oh
was an old
no!
Indian gravesite, and they
That's
didn't
even
know.
worse.
Yeah,
Did they
but
stop? Hopefully they stopped.
they did, and they relocated them.
Oh, of course they relocated.
But I'm just thinking, do they, if the home builder digs up a gun, do they call somebody?
I would imagine you. So I'll say this: if I was in the back in my backyard and I was, I don't know, digging a post for a deck to extend my deck, and I
Oh
ran
my
into a
gosh.
weapon of sorts, is what I would do is I'd stop. I would stop and I would call the police and I would say, "Hey, look, I've located this thing." However, I am also usually ethical and moral to a degree. And I would indeed stop and call the police and say, "Hey, listen, I found this. This was in the backyard. Nobody's touched it. Can you please come out and safely take it away? Because I have children and a really smart, derpy dog." Yeah.
But I would too, just because if it's buried, somebody did something bad with it.
It's a good safe, it's a safe situation.
Yes, I lived in Crosby, Newport. That's
Yep.
exactly where that was.
Jaded Wonder said, "Burn your fingerprints off," which is
Ouch.
ouch, but also it reminds me of the movie Seven. If you remember Seven with
Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and then
Yes.
it always blanking. Doesn't matter. The guy who plays the criminal, the serial killer, he actually took razor blade, like a razor blade, and
Oh, yeah.
took off his finger. I feel like that's more doable than the burning, but I guess if you're really dedicated, that's one way to do it.
Or if you what are those little finger things that you can put on your fingers when you sew? I don't
Like,
sew.
are you talking about like the finger condoms?
Yes, those things. Thank you. Finger condoms. I don't know what they're called.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going with finger condoms. That's what we're calling them. Are you talking about thimbles? because
No,
thimbles would fall off.
I have them for when I'm using my heat press to make wreaths and stuff, and they go on there so that I don't burn my little fingers.
Right.
Finger condoms. Yes.
Finger condoms. I mean, that's what a way to say it. What a name. What a name. I love when I don't know something and all of a sudden everybody's just like, it's Kevin Spacey. It's my favorite.
So that's my thing about burying it in the woods, is because there's people that would call. I would, but I'm also going to go out on a limb and say not everybody. They would just be like, oh yeah, just throw that crap in the trash.
Look, I can clean this. I can clean it and I can put it in my safe.
Because when
still
they
good.
dug up our backyard for putting in the pool, I told them, I was like, if you find anything that looks interesting, please let me know because I want to look at it. They didn't. They just dug it and put it in the back of a dump truck and took it out of here. Never even let me sift through it. So,
of course not. Of course not. It's too much. It's too much work. Too much work.
But yeah. So, I'm worried about the body. Just gonna say it. I'm worried about the body because you're just leaving the body there.
Dead men tell no tales.
Well, but your DNA could be on it.
It could, and if you are indeed, we saw this with the whole. Well, we saw briefly with the Jody situation is that using a knife can mean that your hands will eventually slide up on the knife, which then will cut
yourself.
And show up.
I mean, I don't know about other people, but I have hair falling out everywhere. I bet if I turn around and look at my desk and on the floor, I got strands of hair everywhere. And it would be all over that body.
There is a reason why I have one of those tub mushrooms to catch the hair that comes through. Have you seen? Do you not know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It has like a rubber gasket at the bottom that's a little wider than the actual drain, and it has like it allows the water to come through, but then anything that goes with it, like hair and stuff, gets stuck on the shroom per se, and then you pull it out and you can pull the hair off and then put it back, and it prevents long-term clogs.
Oh, and then I wouldn't have to go and every couple of months use this little snake thing that I unscrew the little drain and I stick the snake in and pull out all the hair.
Yep.
Okay.
It works. It works. Look, I'm about to rock your world, and by that I mean provide you with information. Now, I would suggest a metal one rather than a plastic one, but I'm going to put that link in the private chat, and you can check it.
I need a pink one.
Finger rubbers are better than rubber fingers. It would be very difficult.
True. But no, that's my only thing. Anytime you leave a body, there's DNA on it.
The girl who's... Oh, geez, Megan. Good grief.
What?
I am so sorry. Number one, I'm sorry that happened to you. Number two, that is what I'm talking about with the hand moving down the blade. People don't understand how much force it takes for that. Yeah, for sure. Lisa, I won't say no if it shows up in the mail.
I mean, Lisa here. Say, I could make him a wig weekly.
It better look like your hair. Like, that wig better look like your hair because it's great hair. I have a thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another trip to the ocean.
Just said that your DNA is not in the system. That's okay. But as we are learning during the year of justice with if any of your family members have done 23andMe, Ancestry, they can find those familia matches.
I wonder if the UK has the same program.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Because, and I'm going to be recording this soon, but the case of Sarah Payne from the UK, which led to the law changing to add sex offender registry available to the public. That was like after Megan's Law here. So it took a bit of time. And I'm not saying that they're behind by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of things they're ahead. on a lot of
Well,
things. But
they have different privacy laws, and I
yes,
mean, because I work for a Finland company and we do a lot, in the UK as well, but they have a lot of privacy laws, and, like, I can't even tell an employee happy birthday if they haven't given me permission to tell people it's their birthday
wow.
from there.
Lisa says they do have Ancestry and some other.
Okay.
I figured you had like 23andMe and Ancestry. I figured those were things that you could use from like private companies. I just didn't know what the access to that stuff was from the government. I know our government likes to access all kinds of things
Yeah.
that probably they shouldn't have. We found that out recently, but also like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I mean, I will be honest, when I did my 23andMe, a lot of my family members were not happy. They were like, "You're giving them your DNA." I'm like, if somebody in our family has killed somebody, I hope they call me and say, "Hey, you're a match. Let's figure this out." Because I'm going to be like, "Sign me up and let's call Keith."
That's one of my favorite things that rants that you've got on is the whole idea of like, even if like you were talking about, even if your sons did something,
Even if my sons did it, sorry,
yeah,
they got to pay the price. That's
yeah,
why that's what we might have to tell people when they send in these suggestions to us. Let's not just do random people, because I'm starting to really feel bad for just these random people that I don't even know.
yeah, yeah,
If it's an
like,
X, they probably
yeah,
deserve it.
yeah, just listen, swipe right on all the randoms and find somebody that's loosely connected to swipe left. Not literally on an app because they can track through that. So, yes. Yes, yeah, that is an example of what I'm talking about. Exactly. The idea of coercive control in the UK, being involved in domestic violence, that is one way that they are ahead, for sure. Yeah, that's a really good. Let's see.
And just so you know, I just looked in the folder these are in. There are 21 more.
We have
So
21 more.
if people think, this is great and we want to do it again, we have a lot more.
Yeah, and something that I've been something Teri and I were talking about even briefly today was the idea of kind of doing a true crime and wine time channel. That's in the future, but it's a conversation, a couple of conversations, and some time. But
Yeah.
it's something that we'd be interested in. So this is something where, listen, if you're interested in this kind of thing, or being a part of it, or taking a part, or if you have ideas for how to further develop this premise for this kind of a show or special series, feel free to email. You can email us. Obviously, you guys have mine, which is jt@13thjurorpodcast.com, or in order to make it on subject. I also don't want to flood you with emails because you're the only one with that email. But
no, you have access to that email too. You know the password. So yeah, truecrimewinetime@gmail.com.
Yeah. And so that is it's definitely here. I'll let me write it in the chat real quick.
So someone just said about swindle money. There is in the subject line, one of them is says similar to Tinder swindler, which was
Tinder
the
swindler.
guy who swindled people, and they made a documentary about it. So there is one that I think's about swindling money.
All I'm saying that is in the context of Tinder, if you say Tinder swindler, I'm thinking of a much different thing than
I
what
think
that
that's how he
movie's
met
about.
them, and then because I saw the documentary, and then he basically conned them out of all of this money.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, yeah. So I know we just talked about this. If you have something that is a white collar crime, if you have something that is any kind of plan, we're not limiting this to just like
it's perfect crime.
Right? It's perfect crime in general. So if you have an idea, I mean, it could literally be out of the box. I mean, you could have the perfect plan for shoplifting, or something, and that is something we could cover. Casey said, "Can we do one more?" Do we? I don't know if we have one more. Well, we do have one more, but
I said, hello.
You
Guys,
just said, I know. I pulled a man. I heard you. I just
you
didn't
pulled a
remember it.
man. You pulled a
So
man.
this is like, listen, ADHD brain. I
It's
explained
okay.
how you had asked the link to be a guest, obviously, on the channel to join in, and I copied the link and opened my email and realized one account wasn't connected anymore, and therefore I connected it, and then I said, oh my gosh, I have all these unread things, but they're all trash, so let me delete them. And by the time I finished deleting them, I forgot that I had copied the link in the first place and why I was even there, and moved on with my
Okay,
day.
that's enough. You just made my head hurt. You just made my head hurt. Oh my
That's
God.
my brain all
I
day.
got to remember I got ADD too. So that just
I
really
know
sent me into a spin. And I'm not even drinking
it's
wine.
terrifying. Okay, did you want to do one more?
We can. I'm trying to find one that is shorter because this one I
Okay,
just opened is really long.
perfect. Not for today, but for the future.
Okay. Okay, this one is bullet points, so it's a little different,
Okay,
but it's
bullet
kind of
points.
short.
Is it?
It's
Did they
kind of
say they want to be anonymous, or can we give a first name?
I don't know how to pronounce this first name.
Um,
Marari? Marari? It's spelt like Ferrari, but with an M.
we're gonna go with Marari.
Is that Marari?
That
So I
sounds
am
right.
so sorry if you ever see this or hear this. I am so sorry. Um, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Someone says I would not give a name. So if you want to send in anything and you want to be anonymous, put in the subject line, keep anonymous, and then I won't tell.
We could do also local crime that's funny. Submit ideas. Yeah, you can submit funny stuff too.
Oh, funny stuff is good.
We'll take it, all of it. Especially, obviously, I like to throw in the humor, so here we are.
Hey, I still know yeah, I still want to know. I don't know if anybody saw the news, and I've yet to go back. How did all of those pounds of cooked pasta show up somewhere? I want to say it was New Jersey or New York. I saw it when
Yeah.
some crazy things were going on in life. And if anybody knows, would love to know about that. So this one is the bullet points. So this one's a little harder to follow along.
You don't have to give a name, by the way. You also can say, I'd like to be completely anonymous. We don't have to say your name. It's fine.
Some
We
people
respect that.
even said, please do not reply to the email in the
Hmm.
subject line. It looks like they made up fake Gmail accounts. And I'm good with that.
That's fine too. That's fine too. All right, bullet points.
Okay. So um first I'm gonna read her thing. I did not do this, but I have dreamed of it. And
Oh
if I
God.
wasn't such a good person and wouldn't go to hell, I might.
This is, that's quite the intro.
Yeah. So here's the first bullet point. This one is kind of funny.
Okay, good.
Strip naked,
Okay.
wear hairnet.
Wait, hold on. There's a
Now that I'm reading this, I'm thinking I should have read all of these bullet points.
the
Okay.
hairnet only covers. Never mind. Okay, we all know what I'm thinking, but keep going.
Yeah. While he's asleep.
While he's oh boy. Okay, all right. Well, I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. Keep going.
Use his tie to
Huh?
stop breathing.
Okay. Some people pay for that.
Remove tie,
Uh-huh.
iron, hang up, shower. I'm going to try to say this in a better word. Self
Wait,
pleasure.
hold on. Wait a second. Wait a second. Go back to the iron.
Iron the tie. So I guess after you
Iron the
put it
tie.
around his neck, you iron it.
Okay.
I don't know. Um, iron, self pleasure,
Uh-huh.
shower. That's it.
Sounds like they've been watching the Jody trial.
I'm like,
um, I
My thought reading that is so that maybe you can say, "No, we didn't have a fight.
oh, you
We"
can say that it was autoerotic
Right,
asphyxiation.
right. That's my
Oh,
where my thoughts going.
that's I mean, that is quite. I mean,
I mean
that's. I'm in that.
I have to say it's somewhat intriguing
It's
because
yeah,
except for you iron the tie instead of leaving the tie on. Because if you were gonna
yeah,
claim that it happened during consensual activities, you wouldn't have to iron the tie.
right. I don't know. Maybe they're just really into clean ties.
It didn't say clean, it said iron.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
I'm gonna guess that it's a spouse or boyfriend.
For sure. I don't like the fact that they said if they were a good, since they're a good person, they wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. I hope that that doesn't mean that they are having serious difficulties that would lead them to feel like they want to do that. Um, if that's
But
the case, we have a lot of hotlines that we can connect you with.
but
Um,
I have a question. Why
okay.
a hairnet if you're gonna self-pleasure and you live there?
Are they? Dean hits
I
it.
mean
Dean hit the note. Dean coming in hot. Coming in hot.
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, solid role playing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Solid role playing.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
man.
I thought that one was gonna be short and not very dark just because it was a few bullet points, but I'm gonna
I
say
don't.
that one's a little
Yeah, that one's a little rough. That was a little
that one's
rough.
got some
I. You know what? I think Dean. Dean has ended this show very well. I don't think we could do anything better than what Dean just said.
yeah. I I think I agree.
Yeah.
I
Perfect.
think I agree. So we're definitely going to have someone pre-read these and
Yes.
classify them for us because
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say, Dean, are you Mario?
Are you Mario? Is there meat? No, he said, but is there meatloaf involved? I would do anything for love,
Yeah,
but I
that
won't do that.
yeah. So yeah, we could have missed that one.
Yeah, we'll skip that next time. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, everybody. Let me say this. Thanks for tuning in. Thank
Yeah.
you for being a part of this experiment and allowing me and Terry to also at the same time as trying this experiment give Brandy one more night off so she could kind of pull everything together. I will say this: I went in StreamYard, and she is already planning for the week, so there's nothing else. She's got so much going on. Let me see what she's got scheduled in terms of when things start. Just so I can give you a quick to do here. Looks like stream starts at 8:45 EST tomorrow, and that obviously is the YNW Melly, the Smelly Melly rapper double murder trial, and so that'll start back up tomorrow with Brandy. I'm very excited to see Brandy again. So get ready for that. And then obviously Monday, Wednesday, Friday is Night Court. And for those of you who joined on Friday, we did get into Jody's phone call. And before the phone call, I was very much like, we're going to play this phone call. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna listen to all of it. And that's just how it's going to be. And then we got about 15 minutes in. And here's where I stand on that. Watch it, you damn selves. because I don't think that we can. I want to stay on air.
I
But
wondered how you were gonna do that. Just so you know,
well,
I really wished Friday night I was telling HH, I'm like, I'm gonna just have to go watch the replay because I want to know how, because I've listened to a good part of it. And
yeah. No, we got to kind of a heightened emotions, so to speak, and I started playing different sound effects
oh,
over the
okay.
heightened emotions. So it's not something that, yeah, it's just no. So what I'm saying is, head over and watch if you really want to listen to those. But we'll be starting tomorrow night after the phone calls when the questions start coming in, because well, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I can't, and not in good faith. I have a very flexible ability to accept a lot of different things and listen to a lot of stuff, but that is not one of them.
Yeah. 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 It's something that once you hear it, you can't unhear. And I only listened to as much as I did because I had to write a little brief summary about it.
Yeah, I did. We hit a lot of different things. There was a lot of me hitting the check, please sound effect. So, yep. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna let Teri close out the way she normally does on our pod. But hit the like button, hit the share button, and send us an email to truecrimewinetime@gmail.com and let us know what you thought about this and if you have any plans yourself. And you can create a fake Gmail if you want, or just say you don't want us to say your name, and that's fine too. So thanks. And Teri?
Yes. Stay safe, watch out for crime, and enjoy wine time. Bye, guys.
Everybody.
Thanks for having me.